Hey guys, Omerko here, self-taught web developer. Now we are at the stage of this series where we will talk about Angular routing. So let's start. You see, pages and also option to route through those is pretty much standard feature now in web development. That's why Angular framework built their own router that we can use. Angular router will give us option to route through pages of Angular, set dynamic routes, redirects, child routes, and even lazy loaded routes. Angular itself is a technology that builds for us single page applications. Routing in this type of application is different than routing in the standard applications or websites. In a single page applications, we will by routing show and hide portions of our pages and display portions that belong to the current route. So that's why when we change the route in single page applications, we don't see that refresh icon circling, but we see almost instant change in a page, as Angular itself will remove portion of the page that is not belonging to a route and display one that is. So by saying that, Angular will always render content needed for specific route, while always staying on one page. For us to handle routing in Angular, we must first have some routing module. For that, I am now in my terminal. On the left side of my terminal you can see my local host running, and on the right side I will use that one to generate my module here. To generate our routing module, we must pass ng, then G for generate and M for module, and then we pass our name of our module. I will name it app routing. This command generated app routing module for us, and we can see this folder in our Visual Studio Code right now. Now we can simply move this app routing file into our main, app root, where we also have our app module itself, and just quickly remove this app routing folder because we won't need that one. We will work just with our app routing module here. As we have our routing module, we must first make a setup for it to work as a module for Angular routing. To do that, in imports array here in ng module decorator, I will pass router module. So router module, like this. This module is used to set up Angular routing, and it should be imported from Angular/router, as you can see here. On this module, we are able to use few methods. For example, this forRoot method. This forRoot method will declare routes for root of our application. To this method, I should pass my routes, and I will pass just the routes as a property. Now, I also need to create this routes property. And here at the top, I will create const of routes, and I will set it, the type of this will be routes, which should also be imported from Angular/router, and I will set it equal to an empty array for now. And finally, if we wish this whole module to work, we must import it in our app module, our main app module of our application. So here in imports array of our app module, I will import my app routing module like this, and you can see that import right here. As we will route ourselves through our app, let's create some pages now. In my terminal, I will run commands to generate my home and my about page. So ng, G for generate, C for component, and then home for home page. Now once this is finished, I will repeat this once again, and now instead of home, I will pass about. You can see that these components were generated and also imported in our app module. Our app module itself was updated with those components. Once we do that, in our app, we will have folders for our home and also about pages, components for now. And to check my app module, we can see that in declarations, Angular automatically imported our home and about component, and here we can see those imports. Now that we have our pages, we can move ourselves back into our app routing module to create our routes. In my routes array here, I will create first the object itself. One object stands for one route here in routes array. So first I will add the property of path, and path property is used to set the path of a route, and I will name this route home, like this. So just pass home here. Also next to this path we should also specify the component. So here I will use comma and then component. For this component, as this will be the home route, I will use home component here, and you can see that it automatically imported this component in this app routing module here at the top. I will repeat the same, so copy this route, put comma after my object, and down below instead of home I will use about path, and here about component, which will once again be imported here at the top. To test this now, we can go into our browser, and in our URL here, our localhost 4200, we can simply use /home, and we can see that we do have that route, and also /about, and we can see that we also do have that route, even though nothing is changing on our screen for now. Now, to display our pages dynamically by route itself, in my app component.html file here where I have my top bar and my title, I will add the element called router outlet. This element looks just as a HTML element, but it is the Angular one. Also now we should have this error here, as a router outlet is not known yet to our application. Reason for this? Well, we did create our routes and we also imported our routing module in our main module. We also specified our routes in our app routing module, but we didn't export those. So I will go back to my app routing module here, and next to my imports array, I will put comma and use exports array right now. So here I could now export my whole router module, which will also export all of my route, and as I'm doing that, our routes should work. Now we can go back to our app component HTML, and we do see that our router outlet doesn't have that red curly underline beneath it. Now if I go to my browser and I go to my home page, so here /home, we can see that home works text below my to-do title, right? Next to this we can also go to about page, and we can see that about works down below. As Angular is routed to the different pages like home and about, and we used router outlet to show the content from those components, which we also declared in our routes array, it will render the content based on the route itself. Applications usually also have some kind of menu, navigation to move user through pages and routes. For that I will move myself into the top bar here, and here I will create some unordered list. So in my top bar section I will create the unordered list, and this list will hold two list items. First list item should hold the anchor tag, and this anchor tag should say home. I will repeat this list item for the about as well, like this. So to route ourselves to home and about pages by clicking on these links, we won't use href for that. We will use something called router link. This router link will, well, basically we should specify the route that we should route ourselves once we click on this element. So here I will use /home, and for the down below, so here I will use /about. To test this now, in my top bar right now, I have my unordered list and home and about items inside. If I would click on my home item, you will see that we will be redirected to /home page, and also home works will be visible here. Our page basically changed, and also /about will do the same for us. So by this we are able to route users through our application. And this will be it for a simple showcase of Angular routing. There are many other things that we can do with Angular routing, and some of those I will show you in my next video. This will be all for this video, so thank you all for watching and make sure to like and subscribe as I am posting new content weekly. Thank you once again and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.